Bit of a change of location today, as I'm using my 3D printer to give my lawn and probably the local bird population some love, as I'll be designing and making a seed spreader to distribute grass seeds over my patchy lawn. Yes, I could have just bought one, but where's the fun in that? We'll design, print, tweak and repeat until I hopefully have something that does a better job than a cup. I'll also show you along the way how to easily design more organic looking sculpted components in Fusion 360 and show a useful free plugin for designing gears that I've been using for a long time. Let's get started. On the whole, seed spreaders, or as a matter of fact any granule distribution device, tend to either drop the seeds, allowing gravity to do the work, with the only thing you can tweak is to limit the rates the seed leak through the hopper. So I guess I could just design a big sieve with a mechanism to meter the rate of sieving, and that would do the job. The downside to this design is that the spreader has to actually move over every square meter that you want to spread the seed. The second design uses a spinning fan to impart inertia on the seeds, and the resulting centrifugal force causes the seeds to be chucked out in an arc over a larger area than the seed spreader itself. Now that is more like it. Okay, so here is my first attempt at designing a manual seed spreader. The idea is seeds are poured into the top of the hopper and then fall through the window here, down onto the rotating paddles, which are spinning. The spinning is driven by these two bevel gears, which is in turn driven by around a 4:1 reduction gear, which is itself driven by a manual crank here. Two quick points are worth talking about a little bit more. Firstly, these bevel gears are, as you might imagine, not particularly straightforward to design from scratch, but there are a number of gear design plugins for Fusion that make this job a breeze. The one that I've been using for a while is called GF Gear Generator, which can be found in the App Store for Fusion and is completely free. I will pop a link to it in the description below. It's got a good number of gear types and on the whole works well. That said, one thing to point out is that once you've generated the gear, it behaves like an imported model, so it can't be updated if you were to say want to change the number of teeth on it at a later date. The second point is that sometimes circles, squares and arcs don't quite cut it. And what is really required is a shape that looks, well, a bit more organic or sculpted. And in this model, I achieve this using the Loft function between two parallel planes for the hopper to go from a curved rectangle to a circle, and a more complicated version of the Loft function where you've also got a spline, which I use for the handle to adjust how the surface curves between the plane to create a grip for your hand. Great, so we've got the design done, let's print out the parts. Here are the pieces that make up the hopper, the upper hopper, and the middle of the hopper, and the base of the hopper, with mounting points for the gears. Here are the bevel gears, and the crank. Here are the seed spreading fan, lower piece, and the lid for it, and the base of the seed spreader. And lastly, we've got the handle. And the mounting point for the handle inside of the hopper. Let's put it together. Next, I'm going to assemble the bevel gear on top of the seed spreading rotor. That's looking good. Right, let's build it up. So we need to line up the inside edge of this, the outside edge of the handle part. Good, that's still free. Already put the bearing in. It's great, that's working. Also screw this top of the hopper on. Right, lastly, we've just got to put the handle on. Some heated threaded inserts. Snug. Great, so we've assembled the seed spreader, also affectionately known as the particle pinger. You can see the mechanism in action. When I turn the crank handle, the bevel gear is turned, rotating the seed chucking rotor, hopefully sending the seeds in an arc out in front. Here. Here's some grass seed. Let's give this a go. Aha. So what do you think? Seems to work, sort of. Think it could do with a bigger hole.